Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. On morning shows, smiles are polished like silverware, bright, dependable. But in the quiet rooms behind stage doors, smiles can crack. In our scene, Kelly walks on stage with that practiced cheer. The audience applauds, but the camera catches a micro moment, a hesitation, a blink that says, "Not today." We linger there, because so often people living grief wear performance like armor. We'll sit with that tension, the bright light of public life colliding with the dim interior of private sorrow. The cliffhanger? The teleprompter's words remain unreadable to her, and she makes a choice no one expected. What she says next is both small and seismic. Imagine Kelly at the mic, voice low. She doesn't break news, she offers a confession instead. A truth about remembering someone alive and learning to let go of who they were at their best. The crowd hushes. That hush is its own audience reaction, the world leaning in. What follows is not melodrama, but candor, a sentence that reframes fame into humanity. The cliffhanger? The camera cuts to Mark's favorite chair at home, empty. A single coffee cup waits on the saucer. What memory lives in the cup? Objects don't lie. They keep repeating gestures long after people move on. We follow a worn script Mark used to read aloud, a pair of reading glasses, a cast-iron skillet with a smudge of a sauce that conjures 1,000 remembered dinners. These things carry a language of ordinary love. We examine how grief is often translated into the stewardship of these objects, the small rituals that become daily prayer. Cliffhanger? She reaches for one object, and the handle slips from her hand, a literal drop that leads to a metaphorical revelation. Everyone has unsent letters. In our story, Kelly finds a stack of handwritten notes tucked into a book, drafts of apologies, jokes, grocery lists with little heart doodles. She reads them aloud on camera, not to inform, but to remember, to let private words be anchors for public mourning. The line between confession and catharsis blurs. The crowd listens as if each letter were a private lullaby. Then, at the end, one page is missing. Who took it? The reveal is coming, but not yet. Anniversaries are curious beasts. This segment tracks the first anniversary, how the calendar becomes a drum. Kelly describes the first year as if she were learning a new language where verbs are fragile. She recounts a small ritual, planting bulbs in a garden Mark loved, each bulb a future promise of color. The surprise beat? A bulb blooms with a color they never planted, symbolic of the unexpected kindness that grief sometimes brings. Cliffhanger? A letter arrives, addressed in a handwriting she no longer recognizes. Loss rewrites friendships. The people who used to be background noise are suddenly mirrors that show different versions of you. We watch Kelly navigate a dinner with old friends where no one knows what to say. The meal becomes a choreography of avoidance and deep love. Through awkward jokes and long pauses, we see a pattern. Friends step away and then step in, sometimes clumsily, sometimes perfectly. A friend offers a strange, unvarnished truth that opens a new door. Cliffhanger? That truth includes a rumor about a secret weekend they once planned. Children ask the questions adults avoid. Where did he go? And their directness can be both devastating and freeing. Kelly reads a note from one of their children, small and honest, asking how it feels to be sad every day. The answer she crafts becomes a moment of teaching. Grief can be an ongoing conversation, not a single event. There's hope wrapped inside careful truth-telling. Cliffhanger? The child draws a picture that brings a smile and a tear in the same breath. A living room becomes a shrine not by design, but by love. People leave flowers, notes, and the occasional leftover casserole. The media photographs everything. Strangers feel licensed to mourn. Our protagonist wrestles with boundaries, how to keep a private memorial from becoming a spectacle. There's a moment of defiance, a whispered request for privacy that is noticed by millions. Cliffhanger? An unexpected visitor leaves something that changes how the world sees the family.
People will tell you to move on because it's easier for them. Here we explore that pressure, the well-intentioned advice that boxes grief into tidy timelines. Kelly rejects the timeline. She insists grief has no schedule. She argues softly, firmly, for the right to take grief on her own terms. This segment becomes a manifesto for dignity. Cliffhanger, a past decision resurfaces that complicates the public's neat narrative about closure. If grief is all shadow, we miss whole swaths of life. Humor is an unlikely bridge. Kelly shares a private joke, a ridiculous, unrepeatable anecdote that would have made Mark howl. The studio laughs through tears. Humor cannot dishonor grief. Often it honors it by proving life continues to hold joy. A final laugh segues into a silence that feels like prayer. Cliffhanger? During that laugh, a sound from offstage makes everyone freeze.
Public figures get public rituals, but how do you perform private sorrow on camera? We examine a fictional tribute special, speeches that border on eulogy, song choices that risk cliché, the balancing act of remembering without rehearsing. Kelly rejects the path of spectacle, instead requesting authenticity, stories, not platitudes. The segment examines tasteful restraint. Cliffhanger. During a tribute, an unscripted voice in the audience calls out a single word that changes the tone of the night. Grief is largely made of small acts, making coffee the way someone liked it, folding a sweater into the exact creases they preferred, pausing at certain corners of the house. These little rituals stitch a new life. Kelly details a mundane task that becomes a prayer, loading the dishwasher in the order he would. Viewers hear how these habits keep memory alive. Cliffhanger. One small act leads her to an object she thought was lost, and it's carrying a secret. After the farewell, letters pour in, not all kind, but many tender. Strangers confess their own private losses and thank her for naming the ache. We explore the responsibility of being the face of grief for many people, a role she never asked for but cannot ignore. These letters become a chorus, a communal ledger of sorrow and empathy. Cliffhanger. Among the letters, one contains a photograph that unlocks a memory she'd suppressed. Grief is physiological. Palate changes, sleep shifts, textures become triggers. Kelly describes how scent or a particular song can startle the body into remembering. We bring science lightly into the story. Memory lives in the nervous system. She learns to recognize these physiological echoes and treat them kindly. This humane attention becomes a tool for healing. Cliffhanger. A late-night sound wakes her, and a memory returns, vivid, that she had thought vanished. Forgiveness is often sold as a finishing move, but here it's messy. Kelly talks about forgiving in pieces, for missed calls, for harsh words, for stubborn pride. She gives examples where forgiveness was not a sweeping epiphany, but a series of small, pragmatic acts. In forgiving, she discovers a quiet grace that feels like opening a window 1 inch at a time. Cliffhanger. An old argument surfaces, and she chooses an unexpected path that surprises even herself. Here we confront a painful truth. The world continues to hum. News cycles turn, friends get promotions, strangers book flights. Kelly reflects on feeling resentment, then learning to allow life's momentum without guilt. She finds an odd consolation. Normalcy becomes a gentle friend. The segment is a meditation on permission to laugh, to travel, to fall in love with life again. Cliffhanger. Someone offers an invitation she never thought she'd accept. Hope after loss is not the same hope as before. It's quieter, tempered with realism. Kelly discovers hope in small, tangible things, a sunrise, a neighbor's kindness, a child's curiosity.
She explains how hope now includes mourning as part of its body. This redefinition is a gift, resiliency that is neither denial nor surrender. Cliffhanger, a postcard from an old friend arrives with 3 words that reshape her plans. Rituals remake the day-to-day, annual gatherings, a yearly tree planting, a playlist she listens to on certain dates. Rituals create landmarks in a landscape otherwise flattened by grief. Kelly designs a ritual that surprises even her family, a small ceremony of gratitude that invites laughter and memory in equal measure. The segment models how ritual can transform mourning into celebration. Cliffhanger, a ritual reveals something previously unseen in a family photo. When 2 lives have been woven together, solo life feels unfamiliar, like walking through your own house as a guest. Kelly faces the question, who am I now? She explores hobbies they never had time for, old friends rekindled, and the small decisions that define selfhood. The message is gentle and empowering. Identity evolves, and that's natural. Cliffhanger, she signs up for a class that terrifies her, and the outcome surprises everyone.